Rock 100.5 KATT, live at Rocklahoma 2018. Our coverage here at Rocklahoma brought to you by Rock and Brews Restaurant, Eat, Drink, and Rock On, as well as Umbrella Vapor and the Oklahoma RV Center and more. And I am here with Billy from A Perfect Circle. What's happening, man?
Just doing this.
You're just doing the media thing.
I got warmed up with a couple other guys, and now I'm ready to talk to you.
Gotcha. Awesome. Your vocal cords are going, your tongue's ready.
I'm somewhat awake, yeah.
There we go. That's all I can ask for, I think, is somewhat awake.
Yeah.
But now you guys are headlining the first night here at Rocklahoma, and you've been here before. You've been in this situation before, but never promoting a new record.
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't
It's been a
exist.
while.
Well, it has been a while. This festival didn't exist the last time you had a new record.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I still don't remember though.
Right. Fair enough. It's it's another stage, another
Yeah.
You don't have to drive here.
Yeah. I don't.
I don't think anyway. I don't know how your travel arrangements work.
I luckily got a ride.
There we go. That's solid.
I got
But now,
it.
Eat the Elephant is the new record.
Yeah.
And as we hinted at, it's been a long time, 14 years. So I guess the obvious question is what took so long?
Life, stuff in between. Other bands, other commitments, inspiration, finding the right moment, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really particularly magical or waiting for it to happen. It was just, again, Maynard found a hole in his schedule. I was open, and we did it.
Nice. And I mean, I guess when did the work kind of start in earnest on it? Because obviously By and Down came out, 5 or 6 years ago, whenever that Greatest Hits compilation came out.
Right.
So pieces of it it's been a while.
Yeah. By and Down got a refresh for this record. A lot of the songs were in 2014, a lot of the snippets of music at least, and then I started giving Maynard pieces of, I gave him about 3 or 4 songs back in like 13-ish, and By and Down was more. No, it was earlier than that, probably 2010 or 11 I think we started. So most of these songs on this record though were from 2014 and on, and a bunch of them last year in 2017. When we worked on the record, it was flushing some of those early ideas out, but coming up with some new stuff. So the record creation process was really truncated to a year and concentrated to 6 months.
Gotcha. And now you do basically all the music, right?
With exceptions, yeah.
Okay. So essentially you take the music and then you give it to Maynard and then he puts his spin on it, and then I guess you go back and forth until you come to some sort of agreement.
Right.
And now, how hard is it sometimes to get to that agreement? Because it seems like if you have a full piece of music and you're handing it off to someone else, that's kind of a lofty thing to hand someone.
Yeah, I don't tend to finish things out so much anymore. There's some songs that were a little further along. Some were very rough sketches, but I could kind of see where they were going to go. And there was a few that weren't that far along. Like I would say, the ones that weren't far along would be Contrarian. That was like a very simple little thing, and then when he added vocals to it, it very much took off. Things escalate exponentially when a good vocal gets on there. Something like Delicious has been around for a while, and that song is very close to what it has always been. But a new aesthetic with a new recording it today and just giving it a little freshen, to fit within the record. It's like anything with songs. You could be doing My Way by Sinatra, the Sex Pistols cover it, and then it becomes their thing in the 80s. And, it's like it's notes are notes. It's whatever you want to do to it aesthetically is what makes it onto the record and makes it cohesive as a piece of work.
Gotcha. And I would say the kind of record as a whole, I don't want to call it mellow because that's not exactly it, but it's definitely not, it's lacking the riffs of, say, Murder Noms, or it's moody in a way that's different than I think you guys have done in the past. Yeah. Which is interesting to me that you create all the music, yet you're the guitar player. So part of me is just like, well, why isn't he just riffing out all the time? It's just...
I put the guitar down to pick up the keys some years ago, and just to give a different approach to songwriting, get out of muscle memory and things like that. But certainly there's a lot of guitars on this record. It's funny when you say that, because I could understand what you mean, but when I listen to it to sequence a record and put it in order, clumping things that were heavier, there's a lot of density on the record too. There's a lot of, maybe it's just content of words or like overall density. It felt like a more, not more dense record, but
fuller
it's
somehow.
a different record. I mean, it's who we are today as opposed to who we were 18 years ago.
Gotcha. I mean, you still have that 60 Les Paul that you're cranking out on stage. So that's the important thing, I feel like.
Yeah, my gear hasn't changed really, to be honest. I mean, I toyed around in the studio a little bit and experimented, but for the most part, that's my formula.
Yeah. Do you still have that Les Paul with the broken neck that you fixed?
Yeah, that's my number one. That's
okay.
my main one. Yeah.
Gotcha. So at this point, do you hesitate to bring it out on tour, or is it just like, no,
Sometimes.
this is it? Yeah.
But no, I always do. I mean, every show I've ever played really has been with that guitar. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's the one that goes in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or whatever at some point.
Yeah.
Or they'll just take your shoes. I feel like that's what they take for most people.
Yeah. That's definitely my baby. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now tell me about the live show, because it's a little different without James on this run.
Yeah.
But I think you guys got probably as good of a fill-in as humanly possible.
Yeah, Greg Edwards from Autolux and Failure. And by the way, Failure's new EP just dropped today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was second EP
I need to check
of this
that out.
new series. Yeah. They're an amazing band, influential to us, so we're lucky to have Greg in this position, just like we were lucky to have James. So it's, I've known this day would come for a while. James and I have been talking about it for years, and we just didn't have anyone set. And so when Greg was available, it really eased, it made it easy. He's in the family, we're friends, but he's a great musician, and it was an easy fit.
Gotcha. And I mean, the lineup of APC has always been a little bit fluid when it's kind of changed at every point. So, what is that something that you're comfortable with entirely, or do you wish that it was a little more cohesive and the same players?
It's okay. It's brought different colors to the live show throughout the years, and yeah.
I mean, I would say I'll be missing James's jokes. I think that's the
Yes.
most obvious thing that'll be missing from the live show without James.
Yeah, absolutely. No one can even come close to that. Yeah.
Right. But now,
except Neil Hamburger. If we could get him to just interject for like 90 seconds a show.
I mean, I think you could make that happen.
Then maybe James is not as valuable as I once thought.
Right. Well, and Neil, he had a country record, so he may be able to play guitar. I don't know if as well as James, but
sure he could play as good as me, and I'll play James' part.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he just needs the essential Les Paul, and he'll be golden.
Oh yeah, you pick that thing up, you just start playing.
It's fine if Neil spills a bunch of whiskey and stuff on that guitar, right? It's all good. And spits on it, coughs on it.
Yeah, you have to have 6 drinks in your arms while you play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you should try that tonight.
I might.
Catering will hook you up, I'm
Don't
sure.
dare me.
I wouldn't dare you, Billy. I wouldn't dare you.
Right.
But now, kind of talking about the record being fuller, you guys haven't changed the number of players. So what kind of goes into, is it tracks? Is it different things on the keyboards? And carefully picking what's the most important thing. What's the essence. We do have some things on tracks, but always extracting out. The way we do in rehearsal is that we play to a lot of tracks and then start Xing them out, color coding them on the computer. Say, have a Logic session, we'll play to it, and by the time we get down to yellow is what's left to be on tracks, and those are things that if the playback stopped, it's not going to be a big deal. They're just kind of icing on the cake things. The crowd noise will fill in for those.
Yeah, I mean, it would be whatever if it went away. But, so we just try and make up that stuff. That's why the atmosphere is important to me, the effects, like getting that soundscape together is the big puzzle that's interesting to make the live show happen, to reproduce the record, because it's never going to be the same.
Gotcha. Well, awesome. Before I let you go, I do have to ask if there is anything in the back of your head for another Ashes Divide record.
Yeah.
Because that was another one that I feel like it's been a long time.
It's been 10 years. I just realized.
That's insane.
Somebody just put that up online, and it just hit me. Maynard Gnomes was 18 years old a couple days ago. Somebody just put that up.
Well, happy birthday, Maynard Gnomes.
Yeah, right. Finally legal. Ashes Divide. I'm gonna working on. I've been so wishy-washy on whether I'm gonna call it, whether it's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be called. It might be called Ashes Divide. It might be called
just another Billy Howerdel project to be announced.
It might have a porn star name or whatever, or hooker name. I'll come up with one of those. I've been working on it right now in the form of what I did in 2016 with this record, which is listen to songs, what fits together, what would be a good cornerstone, foundation of a record, and I'm kind of feeling pretty good about that. So I hope a year from right now, something's coming out.
Awesome. Well, hopefully maybe we'll see you next year here at Rocklahoma with Ashes Divide or whatever it may be called.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Billy.
Awesome.
I appreciate the time.
Nice talking to you.